Hi, legends. Let me just put the music softer over here. How is everyone doing? What is happening? As per my thumbnail, I had the danger face over there, and there's for good reason that I put in there, and I will discuss that bearish scenario today in the live stream. We'll look at liquidity, we'll look at CVD, we'll look at some of the total market caps, total 1, 2, and 3. Number 3 is the one that I'm a bit concerned about as per my update this morning. And I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Welcome to the live stream. Great to see you all here. Aiden or 𝗖𝗍𝗍, welcome. First like. Yes, thank you so much for smashing the like button. Smash the like button on your way in. Hannes, yes, Boot, my brother all the way from South Africa, joining me here on the live stream. Welcome, welcome. Crypto Big Brains, welcome. Hi. Thanks for joining. Irina, hi. Something bad may happen and we look like we may go lower to around your targets at 60,300-ish. Yes, definitely. And there's a possibility, legends, that we could even go lower. And I will discuss that in a moment. So the thumbnail is it's not clickbait, okay? There's method behind my madness. Right, let me switch myself on here. Do you guys see? Okay, before I click on the wrong button, I almost ended the live stream. Do you guys see where we got the bounce? Okay, do you guys see where we got the bounce? Legends, let me know if the music is too soft, music is too loud. Okay, I was waiting for at least one of these FIB levels to be hit. And now we have hit and tapped the 0.382 to perfection. And now we're currently getting a little bouncy action here to the upside. Legends, perhaps before I jump into the scenario and analyze the structure here from a lower time frame perspective, there's just something I want to discuss on the higher time frames. Okay, so I want to go back here onto the daily. Okay, just quickly want to point out and just say why we might be going down. We might be going down lower, and if we do go down lower, what is the lowest level that I expect us to get a bounce? Okay, for continuation for this bull market, right? So I want to go here onto the daily, and I hope I still have those scenarios. I didn't actually check before I pressed let's go live. Okay, so first scenario I want to discuss is I just quickly want to recap on this Elliott wave scenario that we have over here. Okay, the one thing I want to just quickly briefly touch over here is to say that there is a scenario, like I've explained during some of my previous live streams. Okay, there's a scenario where the third wave is not in. Okay, we still need to go and complete a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to complete the third wave. Then we're still going to do a fourth wave. Then we're still going to do a fifth wave here to the upside. Okay. If this is the scenario, you kind of want this to be the low for now, because the structure is becoming very long from a corrective perspective. Okay. The other structure that I'm looking at over here is to say that, well, number 3 could be in. Okay, so we put number 5 there. And we are still busy with the fourth wave, still expecting an explosive fifth wave here to the upside. So still bullish, okay? But what this means is that the fourth wave can still be a little bit longer and it can be a little bit deeper. Okay, so what I quickly just want to highlight over here is if I take a FIB from the low to the highs over here. So if this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here to the upside, I want to highlight that we can still retrace to $49,000. Okay. Right, Mr. Sin Games, I saw some of your comments yesterday as well. Okay, 55K, 51K, definitely a possibility. If the third is in and we are still busy with a larger fourth wave over here, what I'm trying to highlight here is the maximum target. The maximum target that I'm looking at is $49,000. There are levels above that we can still bounce as well, but the maximum target has to be $49,000. If this fourth wave is going to come dance around here at the 618, then potentially the fifth wave is cancelled. Okay, and we could be looking at more bearish scenarios to the downside. Okay, So let's just entertain the scenarios to say that, well, what if 1, 2, 3 is in and we are now busy with a fourth wave? Okay, we could still come, because fourth waves love the 382 and they love the 50%. This is the most common fourth wave targets to the downside, and we haven't even tapped the 382 yet, which is considered usually a minimum target, but you can tap the 236, which is which is regarded as a rare fourth wave target, okay, which we've already tapped. Okay, so I just want to put that scenario here in a moment, and then I'll go and analyze. So what we have to try and figure out here from this structure is that, is the fourth wave finished, or are we still going to make another low, perhaps here by the 382, $54,000, $49,000, and can it still continue for a little bit longer? Okay, so just want to switch that off. One thing I also want to look at is timing. I've gone through the timing before as well. If this is 1 and sorry, I've actually done this wrong. I am smoking my socks. I want to measure 2. So this is 2, and I want to measure how long it's been already. Okay, so this correction 1, 2, okay, usually your fourth wave is at least the same length, if not longer, than your second wave over here. Okay, so let me put that in. 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to at least tap the 1-to-1 ratio, which is at 14 August of this year. So we could still be ranging for a little bit longer, okay, where everyone's expecting us for the bull market and getting impatient. Why are we not going up? We're still inside this boring range here. We could still continue up until the 14th of August, which is considered the minimum target from a timing perspective, but we can even go to the 2, right? But let's just, for now, entertain the 1-to-1 ratio. We've already crossed those 0.618, which is fine. But ideally, you want your fourth wave to be at least the same length, if not longer than number 2. Okay, so we're looking at the month of August. If the correction is going to last until the month of August, you're either going to range here more sideways, or you're going to smack down and perhaps, you know, you get that correction or that bounce here to the upside. So I just wanted to quickly paint that scenario here, as well as to say that this correction can still last up until 14th of August. Okay. Then, drum roll. Okay. Then what I'm looking at is, let me just take this out. I'm looking at this structure to say that, well, perhaps from a corrective perspective, we are overcomplicating it. I see the Elliot t-shirts counting this as WXYs, even myself, WXY, XTZ, whatever, all the alphabetical numerations that we're bringing out here. But what if this is just a simple ABC? What if it's just a simple ABC? Okay, which then makes sense that we can come down to the 50% FIB level, even to this consolidation area over here. I'll go measure the targets now so we can see exactly where we are going to land, okay, for then an explosive move here to the upside. A simple 1, 2, 3 A, B, C, completing number 4, and then off to the races we go. What if it's as simple as that and we're just overcomplicating it? Okay, so now that we've got the targets highlighted over here, what I want to do now is to say that, well, if this is a ABC, where can it take us? So let's zoom into this structure over here, and I go trend-based FIB, okay, and this is how you measure the C wave target. This is A from the high, B, and we just snap it on here. Okay, C wave targets, for those of you that's been following me for a while, smash up the like for the education over here. You know exactly what I'm about to say. 1-to-1 ratio, common C wave target. 1.236, common C wave target. Not so much common, okay? And then an extended C wave is all the way to the 1.618. Right, so from a maximum perspective, what now starts becoming interesting is if I take now a FIB, that same FIB that I just had, okay, from the lows to the highs over here, you kind of do not want to hit the 1.618, because then you're going to hit this 618 over here as well. But you can see how beautifully the levels now starts aligning. Okay, so here's a couple of targets that we can now look at, is to say that, well, if we're going to find downwards momentum, and this is actually starting to form impulses here to the downside, okay, 1-to-1 ratio is in exact perfect confluence with the 0.382 at $55,000. Mr. Sin Games, I saw you say $55,000. Definitely, possibility. $51,000, where we could potentially end the C wave over here and then start continuation back to the upside. Then another target is $49,000. Mr. Sin Games, I think you also said 50, if I'm not mistaken. 51. Okay, cool. Close enough. Right. This 1.236 in confluence with this 50% fib level, not exactly in confluence, but $50,000 give or take, which is in confluence with this consolidation area over here. Okay, I do like this consolidation area because I think a lot of people, if we're going to find downwards momentum, a lot of people will look at this area as a bounce. Okay, they will think that this is going to be insignificant, where you perhaps get the front run and you force people to buy in at higher prices. Okay, I just quickly wanted to highlight that over there. Let me know in the comments what you think. Okay, am I smoking my socks? Right, let me know in the comments what I'm saying doesn't make sense, okay? So I've just been painting out the scenario to say that what if, I like to play what if scenarios with myself. What if this structure is as simple as I've just explained and people are just over analyzing it? This could literally just be A, B, C, okay? And it can bounce there, or there. But you really don't want the C wave target to come all the way down here, because then you're invalidating a fourth wave, okay? So we want this area here to hold if we do come down lower. But what I'm also trying to highlight over here is that this scenario is definitely still a possibility, okay? We're not out the woods just as yet. And from a timing perspective, what I've just shown everyone over here as well is to say that, well, maybe from a timing perspective, this also makes sense, where we're going to range for a little bit longer, giving us that 1-to-1 ratio with this second wave over here. Okay. Right. So that is basically what I wanted to highlight over here. I think I have actually prepared that bearish scenario over here. Okay. So I can take all the other scribble out. I've duplicated myself here, and that is basically the bearish scenario that I've prepared over here, and I saved it as my bearish scenario number 2, okay? Because this scenario and the one that I shared yesterday during my live stream, okay, I shared this scenario. Well, this is a scenario that I'm sharing with you guys now, but I also shared this scenario, okay, with a WXY. Where we could still come down lower to $54,000, 420. But it kind of feels like if this scenario had to play out, okay, and we do hit the maximum target for the Y wave, it's kind of bouncing in the middle of nowhere where there's no support, okay? There's no support over here. There's just a long candle. And the first line of defense, if I can call it that, is inside of this consolidation area. And when you start hitting this level, then this scenario becomes invalidated, and then this scenario kicks in. Okay, so let me know in the comments what you guys think. Right, and that, as per the thumbnail, this is the danger zone that I'm highlighting over here, is to say that, well, I do see volume. This is concerning to me. I do see volume starting to increase over here. Okay, red volume, in my case, purple volume. Do you guys see volume is starting to go up with this momentum here to the downside? So it could be building impulses here to the downside. Okay, so just something to be aware of. Right, another scenario, I mean, we can't all just be bearish, right? We need to play both sides of the coin, is to say that, well, what is the bullish scenarios? From a bullish perspective, okay, what I personally would like to see is, that's where I then zoom into the 15-minute time frame. And I look at this structure over here, is to say that, well, for us to remain bullish, and I'm looking at this structure over here, you really want this to be an impulse here to the upside. You want this to be a 1, 2, 3 continuation here to the upside. If we're going to start dancing around here and take this low again, okay, you start increasing the bearish probabilities, the bearish scenarios that I've just shown. Okay, so you really want this to be a start of something bullish and not a normal retracement or impulse to the downside. And what do I mean by that is to say that, well, if I take a fib, okay, from these highs to the low that we've made, you can see exactly where we got rejected. Okay, so massive purple volume or red volume here to the downside. We now had a retracement to the 0.618 where we got rejected, and this could be in reverse. This could now be forming a 1, 2, 3 here to the downside. So this is now the question. We are now stuck at a specific conundrum over here, I would say, is to say that, well, is this a 1, 2, 3 to the downside, or are we going to form a 1, 2, 3 to the upside? And this is why this level needs to hold for bullish continuation here to the upside. When I take this fib out and I put this fib in here, okay, from the low to the high, I switch on my daily levels. Okay, oops. Right, and I zoom into this structure. This is kind of the level that I want to see hold over here, the 50% fib level. Okay, we're dancing around here the 0.382. We could get a bounce from where we are right now, but I would like to see us get supported here by the 50% fib level in confluence with a daily level. And there's a nice little consolidation area here as well. It kind of feels like if we're going to lose this level over here, I don't see much support at lower levels. It's just a wick to the upside or a candle on a higher time frame here to the upside. I don't see any consolidation areas or, you know, like nice consolidation areas here to the left. That's what's concerning to me, is I really want to see us hold this level and form that third wave here to the upside. If we're going to start losing this level and retest it as resistance, okay, you break through with at least a 1 hour body candle close below this line, and you retest it as resistance, there's a big chance that you're going to come and take this low over here and then start forming impulses here to the downside. Right, let me go through some comments over here. Let me see what you guys are saying. Okay. English, Spanish, alphabet law. Hayden Raiden. 𝗬𝗿𝘆𝗽, what do you think of the rejection from Coinbase? Value area low on the bearish retest. Okay, I do not analyze Coinbase. Is it Coinbase? Okay, so, sorry, I do not analyze. If you mean that, you know, I'm trading the Bitcoin Binance perpetual contract over here, I don't trade the Coinbase chart. Okay, so, and I know that the value area highs and lows on each pair, depending on which one you analyze, do slightly differ. I just like to do my trading on Binance because it has the highest amount of volume in the world. Right. Good afternoon, sir. Mr. Random. I saw your comment this afternoon in my previous update, so thank you so much. My bearish and filing the buy order blocks placed yesterday down from 49 to 25. Mr. Sid Games, are you that bearish that you've got limit orders all the way to $25,000? Hey, you never know. You really never know. Okay, I just had to paint the bearish scenarios out here as well. We all want Bitcoin to go up. We all want that impulsive waves here to the upside. I'm just trying to stay level-headed. And before I go into what I'm about to say, I just want to finish the comments here quickly. Roman, hello, welcome to the stream. First, like stream. Yes, smash up the like for the education over here. Crypto news is 66666 on the cost, sir. $16,000, 666. Not yet. There's still a lot of ground, I think, that needs to be covered before we get here, or before we get there. Legends, another thing I wanted to highlight is, if you want to come trade with me, Bluffin is the exchange that I'm using predominantly at the moment. No KYC, bigger sign-up bonus. Also your way to support the channel. And another thing I want to highlight over here is I thought I took a copy trade today because I played a short here to the downside. Okay, and I'll explain to you guys what happened. Stupid rookie mistake. Okay, we had this retracement here to the upside and we started forming bearish CVD. Let me explain to you my thinking process. Okay, so let me go here onto CVD and just show you guys. Wait for it to reload. It was such a beautiful trade for me. It just made so much sense. We had the dump here to the downside, and when we started correcting or moving up here, I spotted massive bearish CVD. Okay, so look at this pivot, look at yellow over here, and look at yellow over here. Okay, higher low in CVD, lower price action on lower high on price action, and even on blue. Okay, so both bearish CVD, 618 level, taking a fib from the high to the low, and I entered a trade, and I was like, let's go guys, copy trades, I'm gonna make everyone some money. Unfortunately, with the copy trading account that I have, features and copy trading is a little switch that I have to switch. So between my features account and my copy trading account, I need to click a little button to tell me that I'm now doing copy trading, or to tell me that I'm trading my personal account, and I forgot to click that button. So I took the trade on my personal account, and only realizing afterwards that I didn't take it on the copy trading account, and then we got this nice little dump here to the downside. So there would have been nice profits. Sorry, legends. It happens. Okay, it happens. Promise the next one I'll make sure that I click the right button before I enter the trade. Right, and based on this, so just from an education perspective, bearish CVD. Do you guys see how powerful bearish CVD is? Bearish CVD on the local time frame, and when I translate this back here into the price of Bitcoin, this is exactly what I saw. Okay, let me take this out the way. When you take a fib here from the high to the low, we tapped the 618 level. Okay, I think we front run it by a couple of cents, but I was like, I don't care. Okay, I'm going to enter this trade. It looks good. I entered over here by the 618, and then we got the dump here to the downside, and my setup looked like this. To explain to everyone, my entry was a little bit late. My entry was over there. I had my stop loss here at the 786 and targeting the low over here. So a risk to reward of 2.84. Okay. And I just want to make this bigger so everyone can see. Let's do this. Let's do this. Take that out. Okay, cool. Now everyone can see. A risk of reward of 2.84 and small stop loss of less than 0.5% and a profit of 1.22%, depending on how much leverage you use. I used 5x leverage. Okay, and I traded with 0.5% of my capital. Okay, nonetheless, trade played out to perfection. Okay, unfortunately, not on the copy trading account. I will make sure that I don't make that mistake again. But I still wanted to explain the scenario, why I took the short. Okay, this really looked like the high. You've got a triple top. I like triple tops. Okay, you have a dump to the downside, you try and correct, you have bearish CVD building up between these two pivots, CVD moving up aggressively, 618, and I was just like, the low is the target, let's go. Okay, right, so I'm currently out of that trade. I took profits at the lows. Right, hidden bearish on daily, also on BTC, hidden bearish divergence. Let's see. On which time frame, Mr. Sin Games? Is it on the 15-minute time frame? Let's see here. Okay, I'm not too familiar with CVD on the RSI. I just don't like using CVD on Tradingview because it's so inaccurate. On the daily, let's see over here. On the daily, let's see what's cooking over here. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, is this what you mean, Mr. Sin Games? High, low, higher low, and looking at CVD moving down. Is this what you're seeing? So it works the opposite way from how I read CVD on the other third-party application. Okay, so is this what you call hidden bearish CVD on the daily? And it could take a while to play out. Okay, I like to look at CVD on smaller time frames because local, smaller time frame CVD takes priority over larger time frame CVD. So I think if you're a swing trader or a spot trader, daily time frames is something that you would look at. But for me, from a day trading perspective, I like to use 15-minute, maximum 1 hour, 5-minute. That's what I look at. Okay, cool. Let's just go back here. Just want to take that out the way. Right. Zoom back in here. Okay. So legends, back to my point over here is that's why I didn't take the copy trade. Or I did take the copy trade thinking that it is a copy trade, which turned out not to be a copy trade. But I still made profits, so profits in the bag nonetheless. But this is all possible here on Bluffin. And for those of you that don't know the pronunciation, spoke to the team, it's not Blofin. Okay, I see a lot of people say Blofin. It's not Blofin, it's Bluffin. Okay, that's apparently the correct pronunciation. I like the ring to it, Bluffin. Sounds like a dog barking. Okay, up to $80K $1,000 bonus. When you sign up with the link down in the description below, you qualify for the biggest bonus and no KYC. Okay, and also you can come and follow my copy trades, which I'm definitely getting into. I wanted to do a copy trade today. Unfortunately, I stuffed that one up. Right, what tool do you use for CVD? I use charts.aggr. Can you see that? Let me see if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that. Charts.aggr.trade. You can ignore the 𝗬𝗿𝘆𝗽 at the back because I've got a script running in the background. If you'd like to get access to the scripts and all the tools that I use, you need to join our Discord Legends community. Okay, that's where I share everything from an educational perspective, the tools that I use, the scripts, trading setups, where everyone gets the alpha first. Okay, what I'm telling you guys here, I've already shared with the legends in the Discord community this morning. Okay, right. I just want to see if I can spot anything more locally over here. Okay, so I do spot some bullish CVD, right? I'm here on the 5-minute time frame and I'm spotting a little bit of bullish CVD. Can you guys see? Low, higher low, low, lower low on both yellow and blue. And the target is this high over here. So there's a possibility that we're going to come and claim this target over here. Okay, just some local bullish CVD or bearish CVD that I'm always observing and watching. Okay, also interesting to see the bearish CVD between these two pivots. Bearish CVD, the target is the low, we took the low. You can just see how powerful CVD is. It gives you those little clues as to what price action is going to do next. Okay, bearish CVD, okay, the target is the lows, we took the lows. Now we've got bullish CVD. Let's see if we take the high, which is this is the target. So from a scalping perspective, it's an extremely powerful tool to use if you're a 1-minute or a 5-minute scalper here on the price of Bitcoin. Okay, right. Let's get back into what I wanted to discuss over here. Okay, not sure. Okay, here we go. These are the brushes I wanted to remove. Right, legends. The other thing I quickly wanted to discuss with everyone is that it does look, okay, let me go through some comments over here. I can see, hi, 𝗬𝗿𝘆𝗽, this time I feel that BTC will make the wick down to 52,000 or maybe lower, but this doesn't seem to be the low. Yes, I agree with you. If you haven't watched at the beginning of the stream, I've actually gone through the most bearish scenario that I do see here at the moment that can take us down to $49,000. I look at the daily, sway my buyer's perspective. I mainly scalp 1 minute. Okay, cool. I want to know the trend. Since 72K, only about 20 long. Okay, so Sin Games, you're more of a scalper. Okay, but then you use the larger time frames to give you direction from a shorting or longing perspective. Great strategy. Trend is your friend until the end. Maybe the full moon does not work. Hannes, only bare moon in the massive range. Yes, I also looked at that. Quite interestingly, if I go here onto the 4-hour, I did look at the moon cycles over here. Okay, I went on holiday down to the coast and I did not have any cell phone reception, and the only indicator I saw every single night when I woke up, well, not every single night, the last couple of nights I was there, was this little bad boy. Okay, I don't need Tradingview to see this indicator. Okay, just want to take that out the way, clean up the fibs. So while I was away on holiday, I saw the full moon print, and I was like, well, I really want to buy some Bitcoin because that's part of my strategy. When there's a full moon, I buy a little bit because you get momentum to the upside, like what happened with this full moon, like what happened with this full moon, like what happened with this full moon, like what happened with this full moon. Can you guys see how powerful this indicator is? It doesn't work well inside of ranges like Hannes has just, or Willem has just highlighted. Okay, you have a full moon, you push up. You have a full moon, you push up. You have a full moon, you push up. Right? Do you guys get the picture? Full moon, I mean, this was a beautiful one. Look at this full moon that printed over here that gave us this massive pump here to the downside. And then the opposite is true. You have a new moon, it pushes price down. New moon pushes price down. And then something crazy happened over here. We had a full moon. It pushed price up a little bit, and then we smacked back down. Okay, so this indicator is 74% accurate from a backtesting perspective. So unfortunately, no indicator is perfect, but it's still a powerful indicator nonetheless, right? We had a new moon, pushed the price down, and then it reversed on itself. And then again, full moon pushed the price up. And then when I saw this full moon, I was like, oh, great time to buy. But I mean, I had no cell phone reception, no Wi-Fi, no nothing. I couldn't buy. And then we had the little dump here to the downside. Okay, so we still have a full moon in play over here. So there's still a chance that we could find maybe consolidation or some upwards momentum here to the upside. I don't know, but two of them inside of this range has already been invalidated. They don't work particularly well inside of ranges, but when you have a trending market, you can see how powerful these full moon indicators are, or the full moon indicator is. Okay. Right. Smash up, guys, smash up the like for the education over here. Okay, I'm sharing a lot of secret sauce from a trading perspective, and all I ask in return is that you guys smash up the like button. Let's get the word out there. Help me grow this channel. Let's dive into the other thing that I wanted to talk about. Okay, so we can go and analyze the situation a little bit more here in a moment. The other thing that really concerns me, okay, EGLD, yes, okay. Total 3. I've spoken about Total 3 in my morning update, and I just want to use the live stream to just chat a little bit more about it. For those of you that do not know what the total market cap 3 is, you will see when I open up my tab over here, I've got Total 3. Can you guys see this? Total 3. I've got Total 2, and I've got the total. Total is all of the money inside of crypto. Total 2 is all of the money inside of crypto except Bitcoin. And then Total 3 is basically all the money that's inside of altcoins except Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay. The one thing, I analyzed this chart this morning, and I mean, it's quite a simple chart to analyze. And what concerned me over here is not really the fact that we broke the trend. This doesn't really concern me, okay? Because I mean, if you take the trend out, it's just you have a pump, you have a correction, and then you continue the pump to the upside. So I don't really care about that we've lost the trend line. What I do care about is where we have bounced. This is what's concerning me, where we have bounced. We bounced in the middle of nowhere. And from a technical perspective, when you have a massive impulse to the upside and you have a correction, you want to bounce at key support areas to confirm momentum back to the upside. So we have a consolidation area over here in confluence with a 50% fib level. Okay. Yes, massive support over here. We front run it. Okay. So people calling for a massive altcoin season here to the upside, and we are going to go to, you know, put on your moon boots type of thing. I don't like where Total 3 has bounced. Okay, this tells me from a technical perspective, not because I feel like it, is that it needs to find critical support to confirm momentum to the upside. It's bounced in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so it needs to bounce at the 50% or at the 618, and at the lowest point, I want to see it bounce at the 786, which I doubt. I don't think we'll get here to the 786. But then when you look at the structure, you can see, I'll take the scribble out. Okay, when you look at the structure, is we haven't bounced anywhere. At a minimum, where I would have liked to see us bounce is at least claim this week over here. And the reason I say this week is so important is to say that when you have a correction to the downside, you could consider this an SFP. You claim the liquidity below the lows, for example, and you find momentum back to the upside. And we haven't even done that as a minimum requirement. So perhaps what I'm trying to tell you guys over here is that purely from a technical perspective, we could still come back down lower. And we could still see some of the altcoins bleed a little bit more before we get that nice, juicy altcoin season that everyone is waiting for. Okay, I want to see total 3 bounce in a support zone, not in the middle of nowhere. If price had to move up here, and I mean the market is here to surprise us, okay? If price had to just move up here, I would be very surprised, to be honest with you guys, because I don't understand where the support is. Where did we bounce from, okay? You have a spring to the upside, you need to bounce, okay? I don't know how better to explain myself, but and it's not just because it's a 50% FIB level. There's a consolidation area here that provides support. There's a massive consolidation area by the 618, okay, which is the strongest level of support from this entire range over here. And then there's also a consolidation area by the 786. Okay, so in saying that, I'm not saying that we are just going to smack back down and all the altcoins are just going to lose 10, 30% more. We could still range here a little bit longer, you know, like we've done already. We could still range here, even come back up, test the trend over here, and then make the correction. So you could still see some of the altcoins do amazing things here to the upside, then have the correction and the bounce. Question is, where are we going to bounce? Okay, I do want to see at least a bounce here by the 50% FIB level at this consolidation area. Okay, so this is the thing that's a little bit concerning to me. And then when I translate this back into the altcoins, I see, Lucky, you've asked for EGLD. Okay, so let's go through EGLD. Mr. EGLD, where are you? I did have you here somewhere. Okay, EGLD. Right, legends, smash up the like. Show some appreciation. I'd really appreciate that. Okay. And I must be honest with you, legends, I see similar price action from a lot of the altcoins. And EGLD is just one example that when you take a FIB here from the lows that we've made, okay, from the lows that we've made to the highs that we've made over here for EGLD and many other altcoins, you can see that we're finding support here by the 0.88. What I don't like about the 0.88, okay, is that you guys often heard me say on Bitcoin as well, when I do Bitcoin analysis, when you have momentum to the upside and you retrace up until the 0.88, you increase the probabilities of taking the lows. Okay, so when I translate this back into total 3, perhaps, okay, there's a possibility that you can sweep the lows. You grab all of the liquidity over here. Total market cap comes down. It bounces at the 50% FIB level, and then off to the races you go. So there's definitely a possibility for some of the altcoins to still come and sweep the lows once more, the bear market lows. And I know that sounds scary. I just have to put it out there. Okay. Right. But then also, legends, from a positive perspective or a bullish perspective, it could also be that we have found support over here. Okay. And perhaps we break the trend, and while total 3, so this is the other scenario that I want to paint over here, is perhaps while total 3 is consolidating over here and it comes back maybe for a retest, okay, you then see explosive move and a breakout here from EGLD. And then when total 3 comes back down for a retest, you will then see coins like EGLD come back for a retest, okay, or even a higher low, and then continuation to the upside. So it's not guaranteed that we are going to sweep the lows. Right, so there's just many scenarios that can play out over here, but total 3, I feel, still needs a little bit of downwards momentum. Okay, I hope that makes sense. But keeping the analysis simple here on EGLD, I mean, if you are confused and you do not know what to do with price being over here, do we long, do we short, are we going to claim the lows? You can just say, I don't care, right? I absolutely don't care. I've got my trend, I've got my alarm set, and once we break trend, I will decide whether I enter or not with good risk management. It is as simple as that. Okay, so you could be one of those traders that say, well, I'm going to play the patience game. I'm going to sit on my hands, I'm going to do other things, and I'm going to wait for my alarm to go off. Okay, I don't care what happens inside of this zone. So just have your trend, have your alarm set, and wait for the break of the trend. It's as simple as that. Okay, I would personally, I mean, if EGLD and some of the other altcoins claims these lows, okay, let me put that line in there. If this price action had to play out where we come down and we find acceptance back above these lows, not as we are dropping, as we get acceptance back above, which means it's a swing failure pattern. You try to break down, you failed, and you're getting acceptance back above the level, you could potentially be off to the races over here. Okay, so I mean, this would be a golden ticket for me to buy into or to load up more on some of the altcoins that I missed out on. Right. Okay, what else? What else? Smashed, unsmashed, and resmashed. Mr. Random, thank you so much. Miss Melanie, haven't seen you in a while. Good morning, everyone from Los Angeles. Sin game, scary. Yes, definitely scary. Full moon. I've read through that. 𝗬𝗍𝗇, if we get a lackluster bounce, where did you say it may go before a bigger correction? Okay, so let's go back here onto the price of Bitcoin. I mean, this is why everyone is here. Everyone is here because they want me to analyze the price of Bitcoin together and make sure that your analysis and my analysis, you know, more or less gel, and you've got the levels marked out. So going here onto the 15-minute time frame, a clear invalidation for me for potential momentum here to the downside. Okay, if we can claim this daily level at $64,000. 240. Do you guys see this daily level over here? I just want to make sure that everyone can see it. If we claim this daily level, I would say that the bearish scenarios is decreasing. The probability of the bearish scenarios are starting to decrease. Okay, so if we had to come down here, we perhaps SFP from this daily level, we find upwards momentum, a FIP from the high to the low, 50% FIP level, daily level, we get a bounce over here and we find continuation here to the upside. If we can claim this daily level, the probabilities for upwards momentum does increase, okay, instead of the bearish momentum here to the downside. Okay, but there's still a lot that needs to happen here to the upside. For starters, what I will be looking for is that if we do find momentum here to the downside and we get a bounce and we start moving up, I don't want to see any bearish CVD between these pivots and as price is moving up while it is lower high price action. If there's bearish CVDs starting to form over here while price is moving up, you could have a larger trend forming over here where you perhaps reject at the trend and we find continuation here to the downside. Okay. Then we could also have a fake out where I'm looking at these two pivots over here, which is almost in same alignment over here. Okay, we could also have an SFP from these pivots for continuation to the downside. And also this pivot looks very interesting with that when you take a FIP here from the high to the low, this pivot is almost in confluence with a 786. Okay. And what I also wanted to do there is if I go onto the 4-hour time frame, I just want to see if it's also in alignment with the value area low of this entire range. Let's do this. Almost. Okay, there's also a value area low over here where you potentially tapped a 0.786, including that pivot, and you reject here to the downside. We have to acknowledge from a larger time frame perspective, we are trading below the value area low, which is considered bearish. Okay, we need to reclaim this level. So basically what I'm saying is if we can reclaim $62,000, 600, give or take, if we can reclaim this level and we are back inside the range, I think the bearish scenarios are taking a lower probability. Then we can find ourselves back here on top of the range again and potentially even break the all-time high. Okay. Right, legends. So I think the two obvious levels that I'm watching over here, just going back here onto the 15-minute time frame, two obvious levels that I'm watching from a high probability trading perspective is this daily level at 60,273 And depending on which exchange you use to do your analysis, these daily levels might be at different prices, okay? And another obvious level is the short from this daily level at $64,000, 240. And then in between these two levels, okay, I'm also looking at these pivots as an SFP and the 786 together with this pivot. Okay. So there's definitely a possibility that we can reject in this area before we get here. Okay, because this will kind of tell me that bullish momentum will continue. So if price had to bounce here and it rejects in this area, there's still a high chance that we're going down to come and claim this low over here. Hope that makes sense. Nothing is unfortunately guaranteed in the market, and that's why I use words like probability, increased probability, because that's why we trade with good risk management, okay? Nothing is unfortunately guaranteed in the market. We have to trade with good risk management to protect our cash. Okay. Right, legends. Also, I just quickly wanted to check out something here. If this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 year to the upside, and this is a ABC correction to the downside, let's just see for interest sakes. Oops, that's the pen. Let me do this. Trend-based FIB. I'm just curious. I haven't measured this level yet because we didn't have that peak. Okay, this is quite interesting. Let me take this FIB out. Let me put the other FIB back. From the low to the high over here. I'm just trying to see something over here. This is quite interesting, legends. Let's see if this plays out, okay? If this is the end of the impulse, okay, which it does look like it is the end of the impulse, this is the end of the impulse over here, okay, where you could have a diagonal here to the upside, which basically means you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this could be or 5, that's the end, 5 over there, and this is now A, B, C here to the downside. Can you guys see where the 1.236, the daily level, and the 50% FIB level, the planets are aligning inside of this zone over here? Okay, you also have the maximum C wave target at the 1.618. So if we do find continuation here to the downside, you have the 618. It doesn't really have support here, a lot of support here, but a little bit nonetheless. But this area looks more juicy because remember, your 1-to-1 ratio is a C wave target, your 1.236 and your 1.618. So if this is an A, B, C, let's see what happens here. Okay, right. What else? What else? I wanted to have a look at liquidity as well. Let me do this. Heat map. Right, legends, while I wait for that to load up, remember, I've got Bluffin, Bybit, and 𝗞𝗖, 3 of my favorite exchanges that I use to do my trading. I am doing a lot of trading these days on Bluffin. Okay, I enjoy the interface. Someone commented today in one of my YouTube streams or videos to say that Bluffin is very expensive. I do not find them more expensive than most of the other exchanges that I use. Okay, 𝗞𝗖 definitely is the cheapest. And the reason a lot of people are jumping off 𝗞𝗖 at the moment is because they are introducing KYC very shortly or very soon. I think during the month of July, if I'm not mistaken. And for me, Bluffin is a great alternative because there's a bigger sign-up bonus, also no KYC, and the fees are higher. But it's not higher than Bybit, and it's not higher than Binance and all the other exchanges that I use to trade on. Okay, so I'm not sure what people mean by the fees are extremely high. I haven't experienced extremely high fees. I mean, yeah, maybe if you're trading with $1 million account, you are going to have high fees when you enter a market enter some of your trading positions. Okay, but down in the description, Bluffin is a great alternative for a non-KYC option. Right, let's go and look at liquidity over here. Let's see. I wanted to put it onto symbol, model 2. Go back to symbol. Why did you do that? Right. Ooh, can you guys see we do actually have, let me just make sure that everyone can see, we actually do have a lot of liquidity to the downside. So it does make sense to go down, to go and grab all of this liquidity on the lower time frames. But what I'm more specifically interested in is I want to look at the 6-month liquidity heat map and just see what is cooking over here. Okay. I mean, we cannot ignore that we has massive billions of dollars of liquidity above the all-time highs. Okay, even here from $72,000. We have massive liquidity, but here's that small consolidation area that I've spoken about. Here's that small consolidation area, and we also have billions of dollars of liquidity just below this consolidation area. So it wouldn't surprise me if we had to come back down to $50,000, $48,000, grab the liquidity, then have an impulse to the upside where you grab the liquidity on top. Okay. Right, legends. Just want to make sure that I'm not missing. I actually made some notes today. Just want to make sure that I've gone through everything. Okay. I wanted to jump through Jupiter as well. I had a look at Jupiter. Not sure if you guys are familiar with the altcoin Jupiter. Technically, it really looked good, and you can see I've been doing some crazy analysis over here. But basically, in a nutshell, I'm tracking this momentum here to the downside, and I'm also tracking this momentum here to the downside. Also, when I take a fib from the lows to the highs, we are at the 786 level. Okay, I know this looks messy, but I'm going to zoom into that price action in a moment. Let me do that. The reason, just wait for it to load up. Okay. The reason this looked good from a trading perspective, and I didn't enter this trade, I was planning the trade, I didn't enter it yet, okay? The reason this looked good is because we've got the bigger trend line here at the top, and then I've also connected these pivots over here, and it looks like we have a successful breakout here to the upside. And we also have a successful SFP from the lows, okay? You can see we dipped below, and we swing failured from the lows. So you grab the liquidity, then you broke trend. So it's looking good so far, okay? Where I would potentially be interested to take this trade, I did not take the trade during the breakout. I missed it, and I'm waiting for a retracement, okay? Where I would potentially be interested in this trade is to say that, well, if we come back down further, here by the 50% and 618 level, this is where I'm really interested because the risk is so high. If I have to enter from where we are right now, and I had to put my stop loss here at the bottom, you're looking at almost a 13% stop loss. I just can't do that, okay? I don't want to do that. So if I do not get my 618 or even my 786 entry over here, I don't take the trade, okay? I stay out of the trade because I'm a little bit picky about the altcoins and also because of the volatility. So if we had to come down here, and we start dancing around the 618 level, I can see that we're struggling to break it. I will consider entry here because then my risk management looks a lot better. So if I had to enter here by the 618, I have my stop loss here below the low. I'm still looking at an 8% stop loss. Okay, so you just need to manage your risk accordingly, not risk more than 1% of your portfolio, whatever rules you apply from a trading perspective. And then if we do get the successful bounce, I'm looking at taking profits here by this pivot over here, okay, even a little bit down there, right? So it's still a beautiful 6.65 risk to reward. So basically for every $100 you're risking, you're making $600. Okay, but that's also in consideration or considering all the bearish news that I've just told everyone that we could find lower levels. But I mean, if Bitcoin makes that higher low and we continue momentum here to the upside, Jupiter has a chance. So it looks great from a trading perspective, okay? But I'm going to be patient. I want my levels to hit before I buy in. I'm not just going to FOMO into a trade. Right, what else? Legends, smash up the like for the education over here. If you guys enjoy what I'm presenting, what I'm analyzing, show some love. It only takes a click of a button. And that is basically it from my side today. Legends, let me do this. Thanks for joining the live stream. I appreciate every single one of you. Smash up the like on your way out and hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Just for now.